And so it didn't work. I just recorded a 6.5 minute diatribe on everything that went wrong in the Independence Bowl, and it didn't work. So I'm going to do this again in a minute. Special teams blew. Special teams gave up 14 points. You take that away, it's 27-20. Randy Bullock's field goal got blocked. You give us back that field goal, it's 27-23. Jordan Peterson decided he was going to try to intercept the ball from the 5 when it was 10 feet above him instead of waiting for it and batting it away in the end zone. Tight end catches it uncovered, that's a touchdown. In that case, it's 23-20 Texas A&M. If Bullock misses his kick, it's 20-20. There. That was about 2 minutes of the video done in about 40 seconds. Offensively, Patrick Lewis did a good job blocking. Evan Ike was inconsistent, but usually pretty good. Kevin Matthews was Kevin Matthews. Our tackles got beaten like they stole something. And that's the offensive line in about 10 seconds. Running game, Kristen Michael did well. Gerard Johnson tried to juke everyone, although he's 6'5", 250. Cyrus Gray was just okay. That's the running game in about 10 seconds. The passing game, I'm going to give a couple minutes to this. Ryan Tannehill had a bad night, couldn't catch anything. Howard Morrow. I'll give Howard Morrow a lot of credit. I didn't do that in my first video. But Howard Morrow did an absolutely fantastic job. Caught a couple of big balls, made a couple of moves that he really has been inconsistently doing all year. So credit to him. Jeff Fuller was kind of a non-factor, made a couple catches, but he wasn't the big threat that he should have been. And that's a good job by Georgia. Easy Wachiku, same thing. Made a catch, made 2, maybe 3. Wasn't the huge factor. Jamie McCoy did a great job, though. Playing tight end, played fullback. I thought he did very well. Gerard Johnson had an awful night. Throwing off the back foot, sailing a lot of his throws. He wasn't leading anyone. It was just a really bad night for him. And admittedly, he's running around a lot. So a few throws he couldn't set his feet. But there were a few plays where he ran out, stopped, had all the time in the world, and sailed it over a receiver by 3-4 feet. He got a couple receivers lit up in this game because he sailed the ball. And, I mean, yeah, it's Georgia, and they did a great job. But if we were playing someone like Florida or Texas, they take those mistakes and eat those up, and your receivers might not walk off the field. We got lucky that a couple of those hits weren't of the highest quality. Gerard Johnson left his receivers out in the cold last night. Defensively, it wasn't a bad night, actually. I was kind of surprised about that. You know, a lot of people say that Joe Kynes is doing a horrible job. I thought today, and really, although we gave up 49 points the Texas game, those 2 games, I really saw a lot of things I liked with Texas A&M's defense. Admittedly, the talent's still not there, and the talent that is there is still really young, but I thought the blitz packages were creative. I thought we saw a lot more threats from guys that weren't named Von Miller. The tackling got a little sloppy in the 3rd and 4th quarter because, well, let's face it, the A&M defense was shot by the end of the game. Gerard throwing about 400 interceptions, a few 3-and-outs. That defense was done by the 4th quarter. By the 4th quarter, it was just Georgia pouring on points. But, you know, that doesn't matter. You have to do your job. Still, I give the defense a lot of credit. They were definitely the best of the 3 factors. And that's kind of scary because we gave up 41 points. That's tough. Offensively, I already kind of went through it. Play calling wise wasn't as creative as I thought it should have been. I think when you have that kind of weak offensive line, you should see a lot more screens, a lot more short passes. But instead it was Gerard sitting back, trying to go vertical. And admittedly, that's worked for us. But when you're playing an SEC team, and your offensive line is below average, to put it nicely, playing the sit back and go vertical game doesn't work. you're going to get hammered. And Gerard did. He got absolutely lambasted. Uh, but again, I talked about earlier, if everything had gone A&M's way, then A&M would possibly be ahead in the game, or be a little bit less behind. But honestly, you give all the credit in the world to Georgia for a fantastic job on special teams and for converting on A&M mistakes. And that's all there is to it. Georgia did a good job. They're a very clean football team. They made mistakes, but they very rarely made game-breaking mistakes. A&M made a few of those, and that's a sign of a young team. Hopefully those holes get closed up next year. Anyways, that's the end of the football season. It's tough to lose a game you should win. It's tough to lose to an opponent that's good, but we still could have had a shot at. And it's really tough to go to a bowl game and still finish with a losing record. But we're definitely better than we were last year, 6-7. Gonna do a little bit more of a season recap, probably at the end of the week, maybe next week, probably Saturday or Sunday. So look forward to that. Anyways, guys, thanks and gig 'em, and enjoy the rest of the holidays and bowl season.